Hello. Hello, Deb. How are you? Hello, Sarah. I hope you are well. I have been, you have to let me know how you're doing on the stories and what have you. I've been stuck, but I basically the words I have are kind of here. That's kind of what I've got. So I don't have a number, but Deb, good. I'm cooking and participating today. Yesterday I was in the car. Okay. No, that's good. Whatever you need to do. This is just a little check-in. This is a little pep talk, if necessary. If there's anything I or anybody else here can do, yay for cooking. Yeah, it's the words that matter. So, absolutely. But have you been getting any writing done? Anybody? Just let me know. Waiting for typing. Ooh, Sarah's at 7,540. Boom! Need to update the sheet. Wow. That's excellent. No words today, Deb. Well, yeah. Do you think you might be able to get any done this evening, maybe? I hope. Deb Day's still young. 7,540 words. And you started late. You started late, didn't you? That's great. That is great. So far today, possibly. Okay. Well, I hope you'll be able to. Oh, Sarah's my hero today, I'll tell you. All right. I have the thing I can talk about today, but I was trying to wait. You should try to wait until at least 10 past or quarter past. Let some other people come on if they're going to. But I'm surprised we still have. I'm surprised we still have this many people. Because it normally you get down to by the middle of the month you get down to it's just like you. Maybe your best friend and crickets. That's it. But Sarah, yes, started late. Have a lot to catch up on though. Tomorrow's going to be busy. Oh yeah, tomorrow's our big day. Our big writing day. I'm going to get very little exercise. Usually I walk in the morning. It's like, no. Oh, nay. I'm going to get up and go through it. Oh, actually, where is that sheet? Hang on. Okay, there's actually where's my clipboard, because I need the sheet. It has to do with what I'm talking about today. Where is it? Aha! I found it. I have so much paperwork here. It's just crazy town. It is just crazy town, the amount of paper I have in this room. I'm surprised the floor doesn't give way. Oh, please no. Oh, please no. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about this today. Oh boy. Allison. Hey, Allison, how are you doing? What time are we starting tomorrow? Whew. That's a good question. What time? I assumed it was. I assumed we weren't going to be writing together that much. I mean, maybe off and on, or maybe in the evening a little or something. But first, aloha. In the morning, I'd like to start at 8, but might be 9. I have a live stream at noon tomorrow and the post-production. So from about 11:15, basically after 11 until 3, I'm not available. But other than that, so I was going to try to start early in the morning, 8 to 11, and then anytime from 3 on. Sarah, the printout on Sebastian's website starts at 6 a.m. I'm aiming for that. Goodness. But to be honest, I'm probably not going to get started until around 8. I know me. Yes. Do we check in at 8? All right. Are we checking in at 8? We'll just make a check-in at 8. Is that what we're... well, then again, it depends what time zone you're in. I'm in the... It's hard to read, but it says Chicago right there. I'm in the central time zone. So I guess it'll be whatever time zone you're in, whatever works for you. But you could start at 8 wherever you are. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody has anything. Did you get any writing done, Allison? Or what do you other guys, what do you think? Katie, hello. In Mountain Standard Time. Deb's in Eastern Time. Sarah's in Central. Okay. Really, tomorrow it's going to be whatever works with your schedule. It really is. I mean, that's why I was thinking if we were going to do any kind of live write-in type thing, it would be more in the evening. Well, or starting at 4 o'clock. I mean, because I'm not going to have any lessons in Hawaii Standard Time. Sarah's saying, how about we check in around 10 Central to see how the morning went? Go from there. Actually, I was just thinking about just write what you can until 4. Allison, that's 3 a.m. my time, so probably not. Yeah. So it's really going to be what works best for your schedule. So right now, Allison, is it like 11 a.m. where you are? Or we can just check in at 4. No, I like your thinking, Sarah, though. I don't want you to think I'm knocking anything here. Not at all. I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so grateful for you. You have no idea. So it's going to be a lot tomorrow, but it's going to be worth it. We're going to make progress. Sarah, we can check in with each other in the Nano group with updates. Yep, we could do that. That would work. I don't know if I mean there are options what people can do tomorrow. It's noon. Okay, so you're 4 hours behind where I am. Okay, cool. Katie, I was planning on writing all day and not meeting. I shut down when I do this kind of focus. Whatever works. However you can get the words. If having somewhere where you check in and there's accountability in the sense that you have to, like, social accountability, as in you have to say, yes, I did this or that. If that helps you, awesome. If that would not help you at all, awesome. Whatever works. Yeah, what exactly, Sarah? Do what you need to do to keep the momentum. Exactly. Yep. So yeah, all right. Whew. Goodness. I don't know if I don't even know if I can do 10,000 word day anymore. But I'm going to be dictating. I plan on doing some dictation. Hopefully that will help. I hope. But and do you feel like you're ready to do that kind of level of writing, that sheer amount of writing tomorrow? Do you feel like you've known, like you've got your story set up well enough that you know where you're going, or is it just pantsorama tomorrow? Katie, I've been known to go into my head and fingers for 10 hours. I have to make myself eat. Oh, wow. That is the flow. You get in the flow. That's awesome. That's awesome. But is everybody feeling like they're ready for tomorrow? Katie's my hero. Yeah. Deb, not sure. My story's still developing. 2 characters had to pop up the other day. Yeah, they do that, don't they? Man. Or they start talking and you can't shut them up, but they're not like, you got to draw them back around a story. No, I don't care if that's interesting. It's a story. Like herding cats. Katie, my imagination never stops. How awesome is that? It also, it kind of makes me wonder what your astrology chart looks like. Because I wonder if you've got something with your linked up with your Neptune that allows you to do that for such lengths of time. That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Sarah, I'm ready to try my best. Wherever that ends up taking me is where I'll be. At the end of the day, I'll be further than where I started, which is a win. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Deb, exactly. They manifest themselves. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Well, this is the kind of thing I was going to talk about today, actually. So, and since we're getting near 1:15, let me go over what I was going to go over today. This might help you. This might not. But this is where I started. This helped me immensely. And hey, Rebecca has 940 words to report. Hey, Rebecca. Oh, Katie. Cool. 58. An Aquarius with a Gemini rising. Fellow Gemini rising. Fist bump. Or actually, it would be more like pen bump. Because we're communicators. Sarah, jumping into the dictation pool tomorrow. Excellent, excellent. Rebecca, I'm in for the writing tomorrow and checking in. Wow, yeah. 940 words to report, Rebecca. Well done. Actually, let me go in here. Rebecca. Today is the 13th, 940. It's probably not up to date, but I'm still keeping that that spreadsheet. So Aqua Sag here. There we go. Oh wow. I'm surrounded by Aquarians. Just good. Which is good. I like how Aquarians think. Very creative. I like it. All right. So what I was gonna you guys are so great. You guys are so great. Okay, anyway. All right. There's something I'm gonna go over something you may already know. We have water if you need it. Rebels. Yeah, plenty of water here. I think Aquarius is the water bearer, but you know what we mean. Anyway. All right, what I'm going to go over, you may have heard before, but there's part of it, a smaller part of it, which he doesn't actually have on his website anymore. And which is why I created this the sheet that I created that's on the Book Art Media Nano page. This printout, I'll get to that in a second. It's why I created it the way I did. So anyway, but what I was going to go over, and if you're already familiar with this, a refresher might help. I don't know. There is a man named Randy Ingermanson. I've never known how to pronounce his name. Not gonna lie. Not gonna front. But all right, let me see, because I can share the screen here. All right. And he is best known for the snowflake method, where, and it's a just really useful way of setting up a story, and I go back to it regularly. So basically the idea is that you take a large, actually, let me go in here and turn off the, let me turn that off. There we go. You go in and you start with a basic thing, a basic idea, and you just take. In this article, I'd like to share with you what works for me. I've published 6 novels and won about a dozen awards for my writing. I teach the craft of writing at writing conferences all the time. One of my most popular lectures is how to write a novel using what I call the snowflake method. Okay. So the idea is that you take, a novel is big and complicated, but you start with something simple and then you add more complexity to it. So, for example, step 1, you write a 1-sentence summary of your novel. And funny, those are usually the hardest part, is right up front. For example, a rogue physicist travels back in time to kill the Apostle Paul. Haha. The sentence will serve you forever as a 10-second selling tool. It's a big picture. Okay. So make it shorter, what have you. All right. So then step 2, you expand that sentence into a full paragraph, describing the story setup, major disasters, and ending of the novel. This is like a second stage of making the adding more to that snowflake. I like to structure the story as 3 disasters plus an ending. Each of the disasters takes a quarter of the book to develop, and the ending takes the final quarter. But you can, however you want to look at that. Step 3, now that you have this high-level view of your novel, he creates summary sheets for each character, but I'm going to skip that right now. I'm just going to talk about the story. So step 4, by this stage, you should have a good idea of the large-scale structure of your novel, and you take each sentence of your summary paragraph and you expand each sentence into a paragraph, its own paragraph. All but the last paragraph should end in a disaster, and the final paragraph should tell how the book ends. Then you turn this 1-page plot synopsis into a 4-page synopsis. You're expanding each paragraph from step 4 into a full page. So you basically, you start with it's step by step how to start where you start with, and then expand that out, and then how to expand that out, and then how to expand. So you get this great expansion, rather than, but you still know what the goal is. And I find this really useful, especially since, the image is fractal. Exactly. But in writing it out, what was I going to say? Glance at the chat. Now my own fault. Okay, so this ties into what we talked about on the first day of Nano, which was that, because one thing I do is, yes, I need a 1-sentence summary of the novel. Then I go back to, I talked about this. Here, let me stop sharing the screen. I go back to this, where you've got the four act structure: Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. And then each of those acts has 2 sections. And this is the section 8, or sometimes called 8 sequence summary. So this thing is really whiting out today. So what I do is I take my sentence and I then flesh that out into a 4-sentence paragraph. And then I take each of those and I expand each of, like for Act 1, I'll expand it into 2 parts, each of these into 2 parts, and then I start fleshing it out from there. So this is, I find this, so it's not only using the snowflake method, but it's combining the snowflake method plus a 4-act structure. And then maybe an 8 section structure if that's something you're familiar with or you know about. There are YouTube videos about it, about the 8 section, 8 sequence. Some people call it a sequence, some people call it a section. I tend to call it a section. But rather than just blindly say, okay, I'm going to take this sentence and expand it into a paragraph, I find it easier to say, expand it into 4 sentences, and then expand those 4 sentences, each of those 4 sentences, into 2 paragraphs each. So I find that using the structure we've learned elsewhere can be really useful, but still keeping that snowflake novel creation in mind. So, and I will put this copy. I will, when I get a second here, I will put this on the NaNoWriMo, not NaNoWriMo. I will put it on the Book Art Media website. Actually, I'll do that right now. Today's 13th. Edit. All right, so on the 13th. There we go. All right, saved. All right, so down in the description box, it has the Book Art Media Nano page. So you can go look at that article and then just keep in mind what you already know about storytelling, so that maybe that can help. KD, that also works well using Scrivener, I believe it. Yeah. Deb, mine is kind of snowflake-like as it develops. Definitely want to learn more about this. Randy also wrote a novel. Sorry, he's come out with 2 books. One is writing a novel using the snowflake method, and then writing a scene using the snowflake method. Same idea. What are you trying to do in the scene? Okay, then break that up. What's your, and you can break it up into goal, conflict, disaster, reaction, however you want to do that. So, and they're interesting. They're interesting. They're told in a very simple way. I've read both books, and they're told in a simple way, but it really makes it very. I mean, that's obscure, about the most obscure reference you're ever going to hear in your life. But I was always a big fan of, there's a British musician who he didn't even think about making music until he saw the Sex Pistols play live in Leeds back in like 1979 or something. And he wasn't even thinking about being a musician, but after standing there watching them, he just went, well, I can do that. They only knew a few chords, but they were doing their thing and they were expressing themselves, and and he was like, I could do that. And I think that's really helpful. Sometimes to have something artistic, creative, the method of doing it broken down to a level where it's like, yeah, I can do that, because it's a good way to get past that internal editor who's all arg, So, now there is another thing that used to be on his website, and I don't see it anymore. If you find it on his website, please let me know. But years ago, one thing he had on his website, he's like, look, if you're doing NaNoWriMo and you need to, write 10,000 words in a day, this is how you do it. Or this is one way to do it. And I found it very useful because it was back before dictation and all of that. And even with dictation, it can be really hard. I am not a fast writer. The people on Twitter, the Twitter sprints where it's like, all right, we're going to write 1,000 words in 30 minutes. I'm not even gonna, nah, that's just not going to happen. But one thing, but his idea, and this, let me explain to you what he was doing when he said he needed to come up with a lot of words in one day and not burn himself out completely or just go crazy. All right. And that's why on this sheet, which is just a free printout, you can, it's over on the links in the description to the Book Art Media Nano page. This is on there. This part where it's broken into hours. One of the things he would do is he set a goal, which was 500 words an hour. And you start early in the day. And once you reach 500 words, you stop. And back before, I had the problems I had in all the medication I had to take and all that kind of stuff, back when I was brighter than I am now and had more stamina than I have now, I used this exact idea of writing 500 words an hour all day. And I found that it usually took me about 45 minutes. I'm a slow writer. I am not one of these super duper fast writers. So it usually took me about 45 minutes, but that worked out well because it was long enough that I could get into the story. But then it usually left me at least 15 minutes where I could get up, go get a drink, stretch my legs, do whatever I needed to do, switch out the laundry from the washer to the dryer. I could do these things and then sit back down and then go another, usually 45 minutes. And there were some times when, I could sit there the whole hour and I couldn't come up with 500. But most of the time I could. And then there were times, there was usually at least a couple hours during the day where I was just on a roll. And, it was a lot of dialogue, which is always easier, back and forth and this and that. And so I'd end up with maybe 1,000 words that hour. But then, that was short-lived. So, and rarely, or 750 or something like that. So anyway, using a sheet like this where you can just write down either like how many words you got, or just writing down, keeping it like the total on your, the total for the manuscript. And if you want, if you want to use something like this tomorrow, you don't have to use each of these for every day. You could, just use this for tomorrow. This for tomorrow, and then track other stuff. Make notes on it. Do whatever you need to do. So, Allison, some of the people in those word sprints type faster than I can dictate. Oh yeah. Katie's been working on developing secondary characters. Sound like great techniques. Helpful. Okay, good. Deb and Allison, I'm glad. That's good. I hope it does help. So Randy used to have a sheet that had basically that kind of thing, only it was more for one day. But he basically had this on his website. And he used to have an article on there talking about how I write 10,000 words in a day. But it will if you do this, if you go for the full 10,000, it's not unusual to not be able to write the next day because your brain is just like, oh, just mush. So anyway, I did want to mention that was also on his site. So if, like me, you're stuck because I've reached a point in this section where I'm stuck, going back to, a good snowflake method. Okay, what am I trying to do? And if I break it up, I have this, I have that, I have that, I have that. I'm missing this. This is why I'm stuck. All right, so let me back up and what type of thing's supposed to be here? What, since I'm writing a mystery, what exactly happened with the murderer? What exactly did because I initially only see it from the main character's point of view. She's the sleuth, the amateur sleuth. But all right, look at what did he do and why? So, Katie, I don't worry about structure as I'm in the flow. I go back and edit later or the next day. Whatever works. This is for anybody, I find this helped me, so I wanted to share it with you. But whatever works for you, that's exactly what you should do. I'm not trying to change. I am not trying to change a hair on your head. So, mush brain is a serious problem these days. Oh, Sean. Oh, yes. Oh, indeed. Indeed, indeed. All right. But you've got the link there. And you've got those resources on the website. And I'm a Twitter person. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter. If you guys want to use the NaNoWriMo website to check in during the day, we can do that. We're going to be you'll want to be over there anyways, just so you can, when you get words, you can just plug them in and watch that graph go up. That'd be useful. But I've got Twitter open a lot during the day. And there's a Book Art Media account, the same as the name of this channel. Book Art Media, at Book Art Media on Twitter. So, but anyway, I just want to, if nothing else, I'm just letting you know about that. But we can do it on, the Nano site. But we'll work it out. Somehow. But we can do it. Facebook, there you go. Rebecca, I don't have an account. Oh, I have an account, but don't use Twitter very much. Fair enough. Katie, Trump ran me off Twitter. Oh, that man has so much to answer for. And Facebook. There you go. Ran me off Twitter and Facebook. Yeah, I haven't used Facebook in getting up near 2 years now. But, oh well. All right. Well, that's going to do it for me for today. But thank you for being here. I assume Lynette is not here yet, that she, I think, she has to get home from work and whatnot. So hello, Lynette. Katie's on Instagram. Cool. All right. That's going to do it for me. But tomorrow, big writing day for everybody who's interested. And I'll definitely be here at 4 tomorrow. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you. All right. And we're going to get through this. It's going to work. And we're going after our dreams. All right. So hang in there. All right. And we got this. We're going to do this tomorrow. All right. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Good luck tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.